everyone, my name is Gravy, and welcome to my review of the 4th episode of the HBO Max series, The Last of Us. This is that time in the video where I stop talking and I say that there's a spoiler warning. From here on out, I'm going to be talking about major plot points from episode 4 of The Last of Us. If you haven't played the game and you want to play it, or if you haven't seen this episode or previous episodes, don't watch this. Go click over to one of my other videos and come back when you're ready. This episode starts off where our last episode left off. Ellie and Joel have been traveling and you see Ellie messing with a gun in the mirror. She points it at the mirror. She's holding it. She feels cool because she has a gun now. She goes outside. Joel is siphoning gas, and he explains that the gas breaks down over time.
This stuff's almost water.
So the gas isn't as usable as it would be in present time. It only lasts for about an hour instead of 12 to 14. Ellie pulls out her joke book to cut a little bit of the silence.
Fuck you! You found another pun book? What did the cannibal get when he showed up to the party late? A cold shoulder. Here, it's for you.
Aww. And she begins telling Joel some puns, and he acts like he doesn't like it, but if you look closely, he has a little smile on his face, like he's enjoying it.
It doesn't matter how much you push the envelope, it'll still be stationary. No pun intended. Volume 2 by Will Livingston. Volume 2. Look, you get it? 2? Like T-O-O?
Then Ellie and Joel go back into the truck and they begin traveling to Wyoming.
Tell everybody
Stop it.
I'm on my way.
Will you stop it?
New friends
Come on,
and new
quit it.
places to see.
This car scene basically comes straight from the game. Ellie's in the back seat. She pulls out a porn magazine that Bill had, and she jokes with Joel about how the pages are stuck together before throwing it out the window and saying, like, bye, dude. It's all, like, exactly from the game. Ellie also finds a cassette tape that's Hank Williams' song Alone and Forsaken, and this song was also part of the game around this point in time in the story. It's a great song, and it really matches the vibe of what's going on.
Alone and forsaken by fate and by man. Oh Lord, if you hear me, please hold my hand. Oh, please understand.
Joel and Ellie decide to stop for the night because it's going to get dark and they have a long journey to Wyoming. They set up camp, and while they're settling down for the night, Joel mentions that people are dangerous. Yes, there are infected and there are Fedra, which are like your two categories of dangerous, but the people in between are still just as dangerous. You have to watch out for them as well.
So what are they gonna do, rob us?
Well, they'll have way more in mind than that.
They settle down and camp for the night. Ellie says another joke to him. You can tell that Ellie and Joel's relationship is starting to warm up.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Yeah.
Why did the Scarecrow get an award?
Because he was outstanding in his field?
You dick! Did you read this?
No. I'll go to sleep.
They get back on the road the next morning, and Joel shares a little bit more background information on his brother Tommy.
Tommy's what we used to call a joiner. Dreams of becoming a hero.
He mentions that Tommy was in the military, and then after the infection took place, he joined a group. He wanted to join a group, and Joel joined with him, and this is where they met Tess. During this time period, Marlene then recruits Tommy to be a Firefly.
If you don't think there's hope for the world, why bother going on? I mean, you gotta try, right?
You haven't seen the world, so you don't know. Keep going for family.
During this conversation, Joel mentions Ellie just being cargo and not family.
That's about it.
I'm not family.
No. You're cargo. But I made a promise to Tess. And she was like family.
You can see that he is still very closed off to the idea of letting other people in. While he is warming up to her, he's still not letting her in, like, at all. On the outskirts of Kansas City, a road is blocked off by a bunch of different cars and trucks, and they have to figure out a way to go around. Joel just says he's going to go around the tunnel, and it'll only be a minute tops. While they're going through the city, and Ellie is trying to figure out a map, a man pops out of nowhere and starts asking for help.
Stop! Is that the QZ? Where the fuck is Fedra?
Hey! Please help!
This is a scene straight from the game. Joel tells Ellie to go put her seatbelt on, and Ellie's like, aren't we going to help him? Joel then tells Ellie that he's not even hurt, and he's correct. It's a complete ambush. During this ambush, Joel hits a spike strip and crashes straight into a store. Also a fantastic scene from the game. And he tells Ellie to go in a crawl space in the wall and not to come out.
Don't come out until I say, okay? They're not gonna hit you. Look at me! If I'm taking you with me, there's some rules you gotta follow.
What you say goes.
They're not gonna hit you. You stay down, you stay low, you stay quiet. Okay. Go!
He is attacked by one of these people, and he has him on the ground and is choking him out. Joel's very much in danger at this point, so Ellie comes out from her hiding spot and shoots the man on top of Joel. He doesn't die, but the man is seriously hurt and he's going to die. The hunter Ellie shot tries to talk to her and convince her to spare him. Joel takes the gun from Ellie, tells her to go back in the hiding spot. He realizes that he's going to die when Joel orders her to get back behind the wall, and she does so. And Joel then kills the man without Ellie seeing. You can see Ellie is visibly upset because you can hear the man dying, and she wipes away some tears before Joel and her can get back on track. After all of this, Joel looks very rough, and he's starting to look aged. It really shows the toll that this entire journey is taking on him, which he later mentions he is 56. This is no easy feat for him to be taking on. We're introduced to Melanie Lynskey, who does a fantastic job as the new character, Kathleen. Kathleen is not a character in the game, and it adds to the idea of the hunters being a more organized group than just a bunch of people doing whatever they want. Kathleen seems to be hunting for people that contributed to the death of her brother.
I wonder if this is the cell where my brother was beaten to death.
She's interrogating someone that is involved in his death, and she's asking about a man named Henry, who apparently ratted on her brother to Fedra. Then we see Jeffrey Pierce, who was Tommy in the game, as a new character named Perry. He's a very military guy, and he seems to be Kathleen's right-hand man. He's helping her look for the people she is currently hunting. Kathleen seems to be ruthless when at one point she had the opportunity not to kill the person she was interrogating. She left, came back, shot him. She doesn't really have a fear of taking things into her own hands. We then cut back to Joel and Ellie, who are hiding from the hunters.
They're not Fedra and they're not Fireflies, so who are they?
People.
Joel essentially tells Ellie that he thinks it's unfair that she has to go through this, and she should not have to be dealing with the hardships of the world at this early of an age.
I'm all right. Are you all right?
Yeah.
I'm not good at this.
Yeah, you really aren't.
I mean, it was my fault. You shouldn't have had to. And I'm sorry.
He gives her the gun back and then teaches her how to effectively hold the gun so she can use it in the future.
Show me your grip. Finger off the trigger. Now, who taught you that?
Fedra school.
Figures.
Ellie mentions that this isn't her first time hurting someone, alluding to some sort of past that we haven't gotten into yet.
No.
The hunters are still looking for Henry and they find his hiding area. And at that point, Sam is mentioned. Also at this point, I realized we were talking about Henry and Sam. When Henry was mentioned, I was like, oh, new character, I guess. I don't know who this is. This is the Henry and Sam from the game. And this is made more obvious later on. When they get into this hiding area, they see paintings that are obviously done by a child of like superheroes and all this stuff. They also find a room where ground is like cracked and it is moving. Perry and Kathleen find this and they decide not to tell any of the other hunters. We also realize that Joel used to be a hunter. He basically explains that that's how he knew that it was an ambush, because he used to do that kind of thing with Tess.
Did you kill innocent people?
It isn't fair, your age, having to deal with all of this.
So it gets easier when you get older?
No, not really.
Ellie also points out that Joel can't really hear very well on his right side. And I think this is a really cute detail because she is very much aware of her surroundings, even though she seems to be much more lighthearted than someone like Joel. But she's very attentive. She's very detail-oriented. She can notice these little things. Ellie tells Joel a pun before they fall asleep as they are hiding from the hunters. And Joel actually laughs, showing that he really is starting to warm up to her and her personality. Then in the middle of the night, Joel's woken with Ellie saying, "Joel, wake up." Ellie yelling at him to wake up because a man is pointing a gun to her head. Joel turns and sees that there is a child pointing a gun at his head. That's the cliffhanger it's left off on.
To be continued. I hate cliffhangers.
If you know the game, you know that this is going to be Henry and Sam. That's the episode. That's the recap. Let's talk about a couple of things that I enjoyed or that I noticed. This is essentially a setup episode. We're really setting up a lot of things that are going to be happening in the future. It was still amazing as a setup episode. I enjoyed a lot of it. This episode also had a lot of correlation to the game, and I thought that was really interesting. There were full scenes that were exactly like the game. You could play the two side by side, and they're exactly the same. I also really enjoyed the Ellie and Joel bonding and how you can really see their relationship start to grow as they are going through all of these hardships together. Also, the ground moving, I am pretty sure it's going to be a bloater based on previews and things that I've seen. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I just wanted to make that prediction that I think it's a bloater under there and that at some point he's going to break up from the ground and it's going to be bad. Additionally, the ending song for this episode is an 80s cover song, which, according to the Bill and Frank book, is Danger. That is a little hint of foreshadowing there, I'm pretty sure, and it's also just a really great touch that they added to the end of it. I also really enjoyed that they gave the hunters a leader and also a right-hand man. It makes the hunters less of like this disorganized group that basically just does whatever they want with no real motive besides like killing people. It gives them a goal and it gives them an actual motive for what they're doing, and it is easier from the audience perspective to see them as a villain when they are given their own motivations. I think that's very interesting, and I really like the fact that they brought in Melanie Lynskey in order to make this happen. Alrighty, well, thank you for watching. Those are all my thoughts and the major plot points from this episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did. I really thought it was amazing, and I'm so excited to see the next episode. Thank you everyone for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know your feedback in your comments below. I really like hearing from you guys, and I just find it really enjoyable to interact. So also, feel free to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification button because I've been posting videos about every day. You guys can see more content from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye!
Joel? Did you know diarrhea is hereditary?
What?
Yeah. It runs in your genes.
That is so goddamn stupid.
You laughed,
I
motherfucker.
didn't laugh.
Yes, you did.
Jesus, I'm losing it.
You're losing it big time.